All right. Welcome to the Notorious podcast, episode 2. Today's guest is going to be Kevin Salazar. How's your day been, Kevin?
Been a good day. I had to defend my Universal title 2 days before expected, but defended nonetheless.
That's good to hear. So, ROC obviously has been around for now a while, and we just came off its 1 year anniversary. Did you ever think ROC was ever going to get this far?
I didn't think anything. I hoped I could push it to get this far.
That's it?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you got to look back at how we started. We started with multiple big members. Those members grew to have issues with me, and they had to be released for their company. They come back, they're good for a while, and then they have more issues. So it's definitely been a struggle, but I've done everything in my power to get it here this far, and I guess we're here, so it's worked.
So, obviously ROC is close to your heart. What drove you into opening your own league, and was there any challenges you came across?
What drove me into opening it was another club that I was in before this called WCCO. Um, when I left that club, I was told I'll never amount to anything, and I will never be able to hold my own club. I went through a couple other clubs before I came up with the idea. All of them had issues, but they all had one big issue. They didn't include the entire roster. So I wanted to create a place for people and everyone to be recognized, whether it's management, superstars, worse superstars, good superstars, it didn't matter. Everybody gets their opportunity. And challenges, I would have to say the hate. I don't like the leader of WCCL at all, but I do understand because they have been around for a while. And running a league is one of those things where it doesn't matter what you do or how you do it, somebody's going to have a problem with it. Because there's 7.2 billion people in the world, somebody's damned to have an issue with it. So it's definitely the hate, because I've done everything in my power to make sure that everyone gets a chance, and just hearing the hate is definitely one of the worst parts.
Alright, so enough about ROC. I'm sure that the listeners would much rather hear about Kevin Salazar. So, you've been champ for a while now. Well, that's kind of an understatement. So, you've held in almost a year now.
Over a year, actually.
Yeah. Is there any difficulties or struggles you've ever had as a champion?
Yes, actually. Since I am the CEO of ROC, being champion, I wouldn't say that my physical challenges are what are the biggest. It's the mental challenges, the backlash you get for being champion. I created a place for everybody to compete, which means management too. I try my best to make sure everybody gets a fair shot. I don't screw people over. And in my opinion, I definitely deserve my spot. So I would say that the challenges are trying to have to, you know, juggle being CEO and champion at the same time, especially because of the fact that at this point, again, champion for over a year, I haven't seen anybody hold a title for more than 4 months. So it's definitely a lot more responsibility on me as both a champion and the CEO, and that's something I have to juggle because it's not only the top champion, you're the top superstar. And as great as that is to feel, it comes with ungodly amounts of responsibility. You compare that, or you combine that with being CEO, even more.
Is there anything that you think you do differently that helps you at the end of the day retain your title that maybe other champions aren't doing?
I always liked to combine my skill with my brain. There are very skilled people in ROC, but a lot of them, I'll watch their matches and I can point out multiple multiple things because it's so easy to see. When you are in the heat of the moment, fighting for a world title, whether it's to retain it or keep it, you don't think. And I think that's why I'm on a higher level, is because I'm able to juggle those two things. So I definitely believe that there are people like Jay Salazar, there are people like Cohen Nitro, there are people like Max Black, Jordan Black, that can definitely be smarter with the way they fight or retain titles.
Is there any superstars you think have came close to taking the title away from you, or?
Yes, there are two. One of them would have to be my match against my son, Jay Salazar, at Battle of the Brands. He definitely was the second closest to take it. I would say the first person closest to taking it was a man I know by the name of Fox. We have faced 3 times for the Universal title. Twice was me defending it, and once was me getting it back after I relinquished it. I won all 3 times, but I've never had a bigger fight than him. And I'd say the third person would have to be the match I had against Max Black and Adam at WrestleMania. Because as much as in a one-on-one I would have won, it's a triple threat. You know, you don't really know what to expect. And so if I wouldn't have been up and in time to come down from that cell when Max hit Adam with his finisher, I could be sitting here without a championship right now.
All right, I'd like to run down a list of superstars from ROC just to see how you would, I guess, evaluate them.
Okay.
All right, starting off with Jordan Black. God.
Jordan Black. He's a tough one because unlike his brother Jace shows you that he deserves a lot more. What Jordan does is complicated because he'll win these matches, but then he'll use that side that I don't like people using. Jordan's one of those people that will brag about it, or he'll brag going into the match. He will argue as much as possible, and he's overconfident. Now, he's been lucky for a very long time, but that luck could run out. I definitely think that he can get a lot better, and he has a lot to improve on. But where he's at right now, it's definitely a good spot. He just needs to work on his mouth.
All right, next, Victor Wolf.
Victor Wolf. He's one of those people that's overconfident, but he deserves to be. Victor Wolf puts in the work. Hell, Victor Wolf has an upcoming match against Jay Salazar tonight, actually, on SmackDown. And I believe that he could definitely, if he gets the opening, take the title. Because he hasn't only been, telling people he's going to win. He's been very good in putting in work and training and all of it. And he's definitely committed to being world champion. He wants that spot. Hell, when we were told that Jay Salazar would be running late to the main event, so he wouldn't be able to compete this Sunday, and we had to move it to tonight, one of the things he told me he was happy about he was upset that he doesn't get that main event spot. So it's not only the title that makes him happy, it's being on the top spot. He wants that top level tier.
Yeah. All right, next, Adam Crimson.
Adam Crimson. He is tough. I found Adam Crimson when he was about 7 years old. Now, when Adam Crimson was little, he was kind of a douche. He was a dick. But when I raised him up, he's gotten a lot better at, I'd say, understanding his competition. He doesn't go out there and just immediately start insulting everybody anymore. He understands both sides, and he tries to do his best to win the match. He tries to do anything he can to win the title, but without screwing people over. So I definitely think that he's taken a lot from me, but I also think that he could get a lot better.
All right, next up, Jack Ortiz.
Jack Ortiz, the man who kicked out of multiple Hellbreakers and multiple Hell Vengeances, and then got beat with a frog splash. Jack Ortiz. I find him to be more stronger than anybody in this league. And here's why. When I say strong, I don't mean physically. Jack Ortiz has been attacked verbally, mentally, physically, and he's still tried to do his part for this company. He's come back, he's started a developmental brand, and he's still got made fun of after coming back. But he's still committed to doing it. So I'd say that mentally, he's stronger than anybody here. Maybe other than me.
All right.
He can definitely take a lot more punishment than anybody thinks.
All right. Next up, Zay.
My nephew Zay. Yeah. It's basically the exact same case as Jack. Instead, Jack doesn't deserve a lot of the hate he gets. Zay will run around opening his mouth to anybody and everybody. And I guess he was raised by my brother, so it makes sense. Well, he wasn't raised by my brother. He was raised by me because my brother, decided he didn't want to be his father. So that's a whole thing. Anyway, I never liked to say, and this is why. He was always too talkative. And when you're too talkative and you're not exactly that great in the ring, that gets you into very bad situations. The other day, he called me out. And so I had to beat the living shit out of my nephew. He went to a hospital for a week, and he isn't going to be back until next week.
All right. Next up, El Luciva.
My brother, El Lucifa. Terrible father. Definitely. Horrible father. Could definitely be better. He's more committed than anybody here. You see, El Lucifa hasn't been around for a while, but honestly, he deserves the break. When man was...
Kevin, you there? Kevin? You just lost... Here, try joining back and joining... Here, try, exiting and then joining back. Because I don't hear you. Technical difficulties. There you go.
Alright, are we good?
Yeah.
Okay. Technical issues. Who are we? El Luciva, right. He's definitely taken his fair share of a break, but he deserves it. He's a beast. And I believe that when he comes back, he's going to make it known that he is still that same beast.
That's all you got to say about your brother?
Pretty much it. I mean, there's not a lot to say about Lucy. The man is... He's like Zay. He's like his son when it comes to talking, but the difference is Lucy can back it up. I've been with my brother ever since I was born. It's one of those things where I can see his flaws, but I don't know, I can't judge him for them. It's harder to, because we've been together for so long.
Alright, and finally, Jay Salazar.
Jay Salazar. Okay, that's very annoying. You'd have to get that fixed. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Max? Alright, so Jay Salazar, with him, one of the best and fastest rising superstars in ROC. He has sloppy ring work sometimes, but I think one of the best things about him is he doesn't talk as much as everybody else does. He doesn't. Because he knows, and I've taught him about this, he knows that anything can happen in the ring. Anything. So he always keeps his mouth shut. because he doesn't know if he could get surprised or not, but he understands that there's competition out there, and he could talk himself into a situation where he gets his ass kicked. Hence, Zay. So I definitely think that he is one of the best champions, one of the best world champions, and I think if he can find the win this tonight, he can definitely keep that title for a long time. How we already have a scheduled match between him at WrestleMania. That's how big he's gotten. He has a match against you, actually. You're facing him at WrestleMania, Canada. So if that hasn't been announced yet, it is now. The main event of WrestleMania 3 Canada. Max Black, Jay Salazar. And if they have a title by the time they get there, it's for the or all titles. If they don't, doesn't matter. It's still the main event.
All right. Next question. That's like all I had for Superstars. So with
All
earlier
right.
we spoke upon who you thought came close to beating you, but is there any dream matches you've had in mind for Kevin Salazar?
Yes. I count dream matches not only as ones that haven't happened, but they might have happened like once, and I would love to see again. So, some dream matches that I have, I'd have to say against you, actually. If you can gain your top spot back, you can. Okay, if you can gain that person that you used to be, go back to that Max Black who was eating his competition almost literally. I'd definitely love to see that match again. This isn't a dream match. This is more of a must-see match. Javante. I need that match
The King
because,
Olympus versus the Black Beast.
as you know, Javante is definitely one of the biggest assholes of all time, and he's the reason for screwing most of the people in my club over. So it would mean a lot to me to be able to fight for them and kick his ass. Um, I would say me versus Adam Crimson. We have barely seen that. That would definitely be a dream match. We faced once, and it was called a quits by the ref because Adam could not continue. But it's funny because the match went so long, Adam couldn't mount any offense, but he would not give up. He kicked out of 13 Hellbreakers and 3 Hell's Vengeances. That man is a fighter. Um, I think that's it. A lot of the dream matches that I've wanted, I've had already. I've had my dream match at the time against most of the members of Desolation. I've had my dream match against, it's multiple different people. I can't really name them all because I've had so many matches in my career.
All right. And finally, before we get Jack Ortiz in here and I make my announcement, yesterday you announced that you'd have an announcement here, and you were going to share it here on the floor on the Notorious podcast. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I do have an announcement. Um, I don't really know how to say this. I am taking a break from in-ring competition until 22. I have poured depression, happiness, sadness, everything into this league, and it just feels like it keeps coming to a roadblock. I feel like I need to take a break if I want to keep continuing being dominant. So the first week of after 22 drops, somewhere around that time, I will be back. I will defend the Universal Championship at every pay-per-view, but that's it. Other than that, I'm leaving the league up to you. I have I stated it in a video that I posted last night to the ROC YouTube channel. I've gone through depression, I've debated suicide, all of these things. It's never been at a higher point. And it's because of everybody, not even, Kevin's personal life. He's having issues. I have issues with people in the league. I would come back from getting jumped and I would have to deal with people arguing. I think for my sanity, I need a break. So I will continue to defend the Universal title as needed, but I won't come back as full-time until 22. But I want it to be clear. By no means is this a retirement speech. I already made that clear. I will never retire. And by no means is this me quitting. When I come back full-time, I will take my spot back as top dog. Hell, at this point, it might not even leave. But as much as I need to work on myself, I would like to say before we end this, the people and the roster of ROC need to work on themselves. Because being in ROC, being picked to be part of it, never picked y'all for your talent. I never picked you for how good you are or how bad you are or what you're like. I picked you because you all have heart. But there are times where you all forget that. You rely too much on being the best man, on being better than everybody. And at the end of the day, that's not what it's about. It's about being the best man, but still being able to realize that you are just a man. So have empathy and compassion for the other people that aren't as good as you. It's about realizing that I have to juggle so many things. So maybe don't approach me and tell me I don't care about my league. I love this club more than I love most people. Evil. It's heartless. And I can't continue to be in love with something like that. So I'm going to take time to myself. When I come back, hopefully, not only me, but hopefully ROC is better. Thank you.